This is Jon Daly from the EP Boulevard Pawn Shop in Memphis. A very Merry Christmas to everyone. We have a special guest with us today. We will be hearing directly from Barbara Hearn. We will be finding out who Pearl Hill was, and also we will be talking about two Mario Lanza Christmas records that I believe probably influenced Elvis's song selection on his Christmas album from 1957. So let's join Barbara and hear the story. All right, Elvis fans, what a privilege. We hope you have a great Merry Christmas today. And joining us is Barbara Hearn, who dated Elvis in 1956, and we are going to be talking about Pearl Hill. So Barbara, who was Pearl Hill?
Oh, I am so happy that you found out about her. Pearl Hill was my mother. Beautiful. I mean, she used to turn heads when she walked down the street. One of the great loves of her life was music. And when I started dating Elvis, and he would come to the house, and they would talk about music. And at one time, she had worked for a company that distributed records. And so we had quite a collection because she would bring home one from every one that they put out. And also, she had the privilege of going to the Peabody Skyway when all the big bands would come there. So she had a soul full of music. And I think Elvis recognized that. And they had a lot of time to talk and visit while I was getting ready. And they would be playing some of our records. And, I knew Elvis as a boy, but I did not know him as a man. But I can't believe that he would have strayed far from the way he was as a boy. And one of our favorites was Mario Lanza.
Yes, so I'm very fortunate to obtain 45s that belong to you and your mom. So Mario Lanza, the two 45s that we have, they came out in the early 50s, and it was Oh, Little Town of Bethlehem and Silent Night. Now, there's a fabulous photo of you at Audubon Drive. So the 45s that we have of Oh Little Town and Silent Night, Elvis recorded those in January of 57 for his Christmas record. So do you remember listening to Elvis Christmas records and with Mario Lanza with Elvis?
I do. I really do remember that. And that's because they were at our house. So that I guess that kind of stood out because most of our listening was on Audubon. But yeah, I remember that we listened to Silent Night with Mario Lanza, but also Silent Night with many other artists recording it. So I don't know, maybe he was storing up a style of doing that recording of some of the Christmas records. But, he loved Christmas, and he loved everything connected to it. And I guess, being who he was, he really loved the music. And we loved Mario Lanza, so we had a bunch of them, bunch of his recordings. And I think Elvis, when it comes to the music and the style, it was sort of like a sponge. And he just took it all in and held it inside of him. And Mario Lanza one, I bet he would have loved to have met them. Can you just imagine how they would have sounded together singing?
Oh, I'm sure Elvis probably wasn't one to really be starstruck, but I think that if he had met Mario Lanza, I think that might have been the exception to the rule.
I think so. I think it might have been. We went to movies that the people he liked to hear sing. Of course, you have to realize in listening to me talk about all this was before technology took off the way it did. I mean, this was pretty primitive. We had a little bitty 45 player, and we had a regular player that played the 33 and third and 78s, and we would listen to music on all of them. And, he was Elvis back in those days was a gentle kind of person. And we loved listening to that music together and heard so many of them. And I think he developed his style a little bit from all the people that he really admired. But Lanza certainly was at the top of that list. At that particular time, he really was.
Yeah, we had in your 45s here, we have Ruth Brown. We've got like Pee Wee King. Your your mom, Xavier Cougar, who we talked earlier, showed up at the International when Elvis was there in Las Vegas. So your mom definitely had a wide variety of musical taste. And when Elvis would come over to your South Memphis home, he got quite a sampling of music from your mom's record collection, and then ultimately you took them over to Audubon and enjoyed those with him as well.
That's right. I think he might have learned a lot from my mom too, because she was around when there was music before he might have been born, but he was a little boy, and they were able to talk about the music together, and I think what he liked also was she treated him just like any other boyfriend I'd ever had. He wasn't special because he was Elvis. He was to her, just, although she wasn't all that old, but he was just a kid who loved music.
Wow.
And she did too. And so that endeared him to her. And she was so friendly and accepting of different opinions and different tastes that she was able to talk to him about the music, and he was getting somebody else's ideas and somebody else's influence. Now, Mother never would have said she was an expert at music, but she was an expert at a lot of kinds of music because that had been her life. You have to look back at the time and where they were coming from. Music was one of the really treats that people from the Depression era could enjoy. Nobody can stop you from listening to music. And she did. And she just stored up this vast cargo of beautiful music. And I think she and Elvis shared that a lot together. And, he did well with children and teens and adults. And he and Mother just hit it off. And music was the common denominator.
So Pearl Hill, the mother of the wonderful Barbara Hearn, had these Mario Lanza records there at their South Memphis home, and this young man named Elvis Presley comes over and decides to listen to your mom's Mario Lanza Christmas records. And ironically enough, shortly thereafter, he records some of these songs on his very first Christmas record. So, Elvis fans, I think it would probably be fair to say that Barbara's mom, Pearl Hill, had an influence on Elvis's Christmas record because of the Mario Lanza records that she had. Wow, that is some amazing history. I'm so glad that we could talk about your mom today, and we can also share these wonderful family photos that you've been graciously allowed me to use in this video. And on behalf of all of the Elvis fans, Barbara, we love you. We appreciate all that you have done for the Elvis community. We think you're a terrific, classy woman who has a fabulous story to tell. And I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your Christmas Eve today to do a video about your mom and Mario Lanza's records that she owned. I cannot thank you enough for that.
Oh, it's been my pleasure entirely. It gives my Christmas a little lift. Makes me feel very good to talk about my mother, who I adore and who I still miss today, although she passed in 2009, and to talk about Elvis. And I hope the fans realize that I do this not for any personal reasons, but because I know so much about those early days, and I just want to share them with the fans, because I know everything about Elvis is precious to them.
We really appreciate your time. I probably am going to go put these on the turntable and go listen to some records that Elvis listened to in 1956 with you.
Oh, thank you. I could talk to you all day about the music that he loved back then once you get me started, but I'll go see about the pies in the oven.
Okay, I appreciate your time here.
Well, I'd just like to wish all of Elvis's fans a Merry Christmas, and go put the Elvis Christmas record on. That'll just make your Christmas that much nicer. I love you. It makes my Christmas better, too. God bless. Happy New Year.